So, folks, we have to talk about a scandal that has been steadily boiling below the surface of Republican politics for quite some time now. To the extent that I was going to talk about this maybe like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, but then like the news cycle just kept going and nothing seemed to be coming of it, and which was very weird on its own. But it's time for us to talk about Max Miller. And before we get into that, I do want to play this clip of someone who's not Max Miller, a man named Bernie Moreno, recently on Capitol Hill doing a cross examination of Dr. Anthony Fauci.
Sell them all, run for office, run for the United States Senate. Here I am sitting in front of you 6 years later saying, who the fuck do you think you were for doing that? It is a total disgrace what you did to this country. And if my Democrat colleagues are standing there defending you, I hope the voters of the United States of America watch the clips of every one of you doting on a guy who was more interested in being a celebrity than saving American people. Sell them all, run.
So yeah, he's got some pretty harsh words here, right? He's got some pretty harsh words for a man who, this isn't the main thrust of the segment, don't want to get bogged down in it, but I do want to emphasize here that Dr. Anthony Fauci, through his vital work, both related to AIDS and also related to epidemiology, has helped create and craft programs that have saved anywhere from 20 to 25 million people across the face of the earth. 20 to 25 million people. And when we look at the number of people who died to COVID and how much worse it could have been, his leadership is largely what prevented it from getting exponentially worse. Because I want to remind you all, the Republican solution to COVID was simply let it burn through communities. Which means let it kill your old, let it kill your sick, let it kill your infirm. That was the Republican solution. Just let MEMA go. So, all of that being said, he's got some pretty harsh and strong words for, like a 90-year-old doctor who's dedicated his life to saving people across the country. Let's take a quick little thing here.
Handling the anger of millions of Americans right there. Take us inside the room when Fauci was seated just a few feet away from you and you went off.
Scott, that was me being nice, by the way. That was holding back, trying to be polite, given the respect that I have for the office, for the institution. But the reality is this guy did enormous harm to a lot of people, millions of people, whether it's lost businesses, schools that were closed. These are kids that will never be the same as a result of what he did.
Lost businesses, schools that were closed, kids didn't get like the same level of education. Do want to remind people that kids going back to school in unventilated closed spaces was literally one of the things that helped to spur the infection rate of COVID, because children could get and carry COVID and then infect their older, more infirm caregivers, their grandparents, for example. Just want to point out that, like, when we tried it the way that Republicans are trying to, like, paint, like, oh, just send them back to school, what happened was more people died. Thousands of more people got infected. The hospitals were so full, they had to put people outside in mobile beds. The morgues were so full that they overflowed. But, we should have just let it go and let it kill as many people as possible, I guess. But now, this is, I guess, him being nice. Him berating a 90-year-old doctor who saved 20 to 25 million lives. That's him being nice. He dropped an F-bomb. He's being really, really nice. Well, there's somebody else who he's been pretty nice to, and that is his colleague, Representative Max Miller, who's also a Republican, mind you. And, this New York Times piece dropped not that long ago. Domestic abuse allegations rock in Ohio House race. Oh, he's facing accusations of abuse from his ex-wife in a bitter family feud that might put his otherwise safe seat in play. Wow. But wait, what does that have to do with Bernie Moreno? Wait, how does that connect? Representative Max Miller, a second-term Republican representing Northeast Ohio, whose political rise was fueled by his close relationship to President Trump, has been accused by his ex-wife, Emily Moreno, of domestic abuse against her and their 2-year-old daughter. Oh, she's the daughter of Bernie Moreno. So, let's just be clear here. Bernie Moreno has a bunch of tough words when it comes to a 95-year-old, 90, 85. I don't know how old Anthony Fauci is. I'm not obsessed with him.
I still remember COVID, the massive body bags, the horror, and my sister was as a nurse at the time. Things were so bad.
Things were so bad. Absolutely. It was a terrible, thankless thing to be like an essential employee. It was awful. The service done by people who worked through COVID cannot be ever thanked enough. But Bernie Moreno's own daughter is accusing Representative Max Miller of domestic abuse. And it's not even just like and this sounds shitty to say, but like a run-of-the-mill, like, oh, he said, she said situation. It's really fucking bad. Here are a couple of the highlights she is alleging that Max Miller did. She said, and I'm just going to quote this piece here, Mr. Miller scalded her chest and stomach by throwing hot water from a skillet at her body, held a gun to her head, pushed her against a wall and hit her head, and fractured their daughter's collarbone and bruised her shoulder. And I want to remind you that her daughter is 2 years old. And according to court documents, their daughter at one point told Miss Moreno, quote, "Daddy, kill you." She's 2 years old. And Representative Max Miller has, of course, denied all of these allegations. However, he has also then gone beyond that and has been doing the media circuit trying to say that she's made it all up, that she's mentally ill, a compulsive liar, a stalker, and is the real threat to both him and their daughter. So just as like an FYI, all of this has been going on, to a degree outside of the public eye. And Bernie Moreno, however, has known about it the entire time. And when asked recently, he doesn't know if Representative Max Miller should stay on the ballot. I don't know. Hey, should this guy who abused my daughter allegedly be on the ballot? I don't know. He sure talks big and tough when it's against a helpless old man that they're trying to entrap in front of Congress. But, when it comes to the guy who allegedly threw boiling water on his daughter, he just can't figure it out. It's just impossible. And one of the reasons it might be a bit impossible is because, hey, look at that. Max Miller isn't just some guy. Here he is. Max Miller on the left, Emily Moreno in the middle, and Donald Trump at their wedding. This man is cowardly because Max Miller is a powerful and connected man who's in the crowd with Donald Trump. And boy howdy, I wonder how Donald Trump is taking these allegations. It must be really hard for him as a family friend to both Emily Moreno and Max Miller.
Mr. President, there's been some domestic abuse allegations against Congressman Max Miller.
I just
Do you
learned
think
about it.
he should resign?
Well, I'm going to look at it. I mean, so far it's accusations. I'll be looking at it.
Oh yeah. I'll be looking at it. So far, it's just accusations, though. What a powerful and very clearly capable leader who just, it's just, I haven't looked into it, but it's all accusations. definitely not the answer of a coward. No, sir. And all of this is to say that the Republican Party in general is just completely, totally fine playing defense for this man, so long as they're able to keep a certain amount of ignorance in the mix. You know, they don't want to know too much. Like, oh, they don't want to know about the whole gun to the head thing, or the whole boiling water thing, or, you know, attacking a 2-year-old baby thing. They don't want to know those details because they know Max Miller. He's a loving family man. And no loving family man has ever turned out to be secretly a monster. Anyway, here's an incredible clip of just that display from someone who's very familiar with how to, you know, cover up different allegations of misbehavior and abuse. Jim Jordan.
I also want to ask you about something a little closer to home. There is a colleague of yours in the Ohio delegation, Max Miller, who is facing allegations of abuse from an ex-wife of the wife and his then toddler daughter. Do you think that Max Miller, who denies this abuse, should he resign from Congress in light of the accusations?
Look, this is a family matter. I know Max is a good man. I was up campaigning for him. I hope he wins re-election. He's done a good job as a member of Congress, and we should all pray for his family. These are difficult times that they're going through. We understand that. These kind of situations always are. But Max is a good member and a colleague, and
he's such a good man, guys. He's a really good man.
Hopefully, he's going to win re-election. But ultimately, in the end, that's up to the voters in his district. But yeah, we were up helping Max just.
Yeah, this party is exactly K7, K thing. Like, this is the party of protecting women and girls. They're super serious about it. He's a really good, you know, he might have abused his wife and daughter, but, you know, he's a good guy. Representative from the party of protecting women and girls.
A few weeks ago.
Look at how just utterly horrified she is by his response.
At a campaign event up in his district in the northern part of our state.
So, I mean, it's just worth noting, I mean, the allegations include that Miller scalded his ex-wife's chest and stomach when he threw hot water at her, that he held a gun to her head, that he pushed her against a wall and hit her in the head, that he fractured their daughter's collarbone and bruised her shoulder, that his 2-year-old daughter reportedly told his ex-wife, quote, "Daddy,
Casey,
kill you." I want to play for you what you said when you were asked about Graham Plattner, who faced allegations of abuse. Let's watch what you told.
I've not heard all this stuff.
Well, it was in the New York Times. It was in the New York Times. But
I haven't heard of any of that stuff. So you know, I'll definitely be looking into it.
That's the list of allegations. It's been out there for a while.
I've not read it.
I just want to show you what you told Newsmax when you saw that Graham Plattner was facing these accusations. Watch.
That's always been the case with Democrats. It's all about maintaining power. They will take any crazy position as long as it furthers their ability to win elections and get power, and frankly, to go against anyone who goes against President Trump.
Why does that not apply here?
Whoopsie.
To Republicans who want to keep power in the seat.
He looks like he's about to cry.
Well, I don't know the context of the question I was asked about Mr. Plattner, but my guess it was about all the ridiculous positions he's taken.
The banner there says Plattner's ex-girlfriend accuses him of abuse.
The Nazi tattoo and everything else. Yeah, well, I don't know. I didn't answer. I don't know that I answered that question. I think I was dealing with just who he was as a candidate.
What if I imagined that the question I was answering in that previous clip was completely different? And in the process, argue about that instead of talking about the horrible allegations that I've helped downplay.
And the crazy anti-Semitic, anti-Israel, pro-Nazi positions that he has taken, I think. I just want her to interrupt him and be like, "But we're talking about how your stance changed between that moment and this moment, when now it's a Republican being accused of horrific abuse." Is evidenced by the fact that he had a Nazi tattoo on his chest.
All right, Congressman Jim Jordan, thanks for
what? Don't hang up on him now. Like, you've got him on the ropes. Finish him. You got him. Mediasan would never let him get away with this. Yeah, like go over time. CNN is like a 24-hour news network. Go over time. Get the extra couple seconds of back and forth and like hold his ass to the fire for what he's said. It's CNN. She's not allowed. It's just the right thing to do. I don't care if she's not allowed. It's just the right thing to do. God, it's so frustrating, just time after time. And then there is an additional wrinkle to all of this where it kind of looks like, according to texts obtained by Mother Jones, between Representative Max Miller and Bernie Moreno, that it kind of seems like Representative Max Miller might have been blackmailing Bernie Moreno into not publicly talking about this. And I say that because there's a quote from their from their texts that was revealed in court that reads, between him and Moreno, Max Miller texts, "Everyone is going to get to know you better than your wife does." And we don't know exactly what that means, but it kind of sounds like Representative Max Miller has some kind of dirt Bernie Moreno. And there is some speculation as to what that dirt might be, related to the fact that Bernie Moreno did have a profile on an adult website back in 2008. And it read, men for one-on-one sex on a casual sexual encounters website called Adult Friend Finder. Hi, looking for young guys to have fun with while traveling. So it might be that Max Miller knows a little bit about some younger traveling companions of Bernie Moreno. Now, we don't know for sure that Bernie Moreno made that account, but the AP did confirm that whoever made that account had access to Moreno's email account and used that to create the profile. So that might be another wrinkle here where this guy stayed quiet about his daughter's alleged abuse because he was getting potentially blackmailed about his, sexual proclivities. And all of that leads us now to this, which is Max Miller's public-facing statement that he put out, I think 2 days ago. So let's take a look at this.
My former wife has claimed that during a custody exchange at my home that day, I assaulted her. Here's what actually happened, and I have the Ring doorbell footage that backs it up. She came to my home in a good mood, and we have text messages to prove it, which you'll have, to pick up our daughter early for a friend's birthday party. She was inside my house for several minutes when she left. The video shows her walking out, carrying our daughter calm, in the same good mood, showing no distress whatsoever. And as they left, you can hear me say, "Goodbye, I love you, and I love you, Ruthie." Literally telling my ex-wife that I still cared for her. Does that sound like somebody who would just walk out and who had been violently thrown a wall and been abused? She didn't call the police after that. She didn't go to the hospital, ladies and gentlemen. Do you want to know what she did? She went straight to a child's birthday party. The very next day, we had a friendly phone call about our daughter's upcoming hospital procedure, and I drove in from Washington to be there for it. 6 days later, she offered to cook empanadas for me for dinner, just 2 days later after this alleged incident.
So just real quick, there couldn't have possibly been an incident because there's video of her leaving my house and I tell them that I love them is not proof that the incident didn't happen. And also, then they went straight to a child's birthday party isn't evidence that an incident didn't happen either. parents would want to keep their kid feeling as normal as possible. Like if you're a parent who has been experiencing abusive behavior, one of the most powerful forces is like keeping up an appearance of normalcy because you want to feel normal. And like, yeah, she took her kid to the birthday party that she had committed to bringing her kid to. That's not evidence that you didn't do anything wrong. This entire video is like, well, if I was abusive, would I have hidden the evidence of it? And it's like, well, yeah, you would have. Well, clearly she was hiding evidence of my abuse. And it's like, yeah, sometimes people are complicit in their own abuse because they're afraid of their abuser. That happens. That's not confusing. That's like the majority of domestic abuse cases.
The day after that, to a child's birthday party. The very next day, we had a friendly phone call about our daughter's upcoming hospital procedure, and I drove in from Washington to be there for it.
This isn't evidence of you being like a good dad. This is bare minimum shit. Like, oh, you had a phone call about your kid going and getting an operation, and then you went to go be at the hospital during the operation? That's bare minimum parent shit, dude. Would I abuse someone and then do the bare minimum to keep up appearances? I don't know.
6 days later, she offered to cook empanadas for me for dinner, just 2 days later after this alleged incident. The day after that,
Yeah, because famously abused women in relationships never offer to make food for their abusers.
She invited me and my girlfriend, and which you'll have in text messages, to join her and our daughter at a playground. And that day, I just went with my former wife to the playground to spend time with our daughter. A week later, on February 15th, she wrote to me in her own words, which you will see, "I think it's great you and I are in a friendlier place." She then offered me more extra overnights with our daughter, which I can prove to every single one of you as recently.
When you're able to claim you're in the hospital for your child's operation, because you're in the supply closet with a male orderly.
I mean, I don't know that there's any allegations that Max Miller is closeted. But like, what baffles me here, also Sake Tanuki, thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs. But what baffles me here is just, oh, I went to the park and she invited me to the park. Inviting an abusive person to a public place isn't evidence that that person isn't abusive. Also, oh, she was happy that like your relationship was in a better place. People often talk to folks who have been abusive, and this is, by the way, like, this is common in like divorce situations where like people will talk about like how, hey, you know, we want to have like a more normal relationship because you have shared custody of a kid. Like that's important. And like trying to make that as positive as it can be in the two households is like a really normal thing for divorced parents to do. Her saying, "I'm glad we have like a better relationship," is not proof that he didn't abuse her. It's proof that she wanted to make the relationship as good as it could be for the sake of everybody involved. Yeah, you move forward for the kid, exactly. Because the real purpose of still being in any way connected with your ex is to like, you know, be able to maintain that dual household situation. Also, she wanted him to bring someone else with him so they wouldn't be alone together at the park. Yeah, exactly.
Every one of these messages is time-stamped on our court-sanctioned co-parenting app and is all in the packet. Only weeks later did the story of February 1st assault appear, so ask yourself, if I had assaulted her, would she have offered to cook me dinner 6 days later?
This is maybe one of the, like, I don't know that he wrote this script out and like had a lawyer read over it, because yes, there are people in abusive relationships who get abused and on the same day make dinner for their abuser. Is he that stupid? I mean, he's hoping his voters are that stupid, yes.
Would she have invited me to spend an afternoon at the playground with her and our daughter? Would she have written that we were in a friendly...
For court mandated reasons, absolutely she would have invited you and your girlfriend to a park.
Your place? No, she wouldn't have, ladies and gentlemen. My former wife...
It's incredible.
It's called appeasement. You're trying to get them to not abuse you again.
Exactly! Like, it's a literal survival strategy. People talk about it. You know, you've got fight, you've got flight, you've got freeze, and then you've got fawn. Appeasement falls under the fawn umbrella. Insane. And in response to this, Bernie Moreno, a man who is so eager to yell at a 90-year-old man, put out and said that was the nice version. Put out maybe one of the most anodyne statements I've ever seen from a parent about his daughter who was allegedly abused by Max Miller. So here he is. As a father and husband, I can tell you the last 2 years have been pure hell for my wife, Bridget, our daughter, Emily, me, and our entire family in the aftermath of Emily's divorce. It's been horrific to watch this play out in full public view, all while knowing an innocent 2-year-old girl is caught in the middle. Our priority has always been protecting our daughter and our granddaughter. Out of concern for the safety of my family, I hope to keep this matter private, but Max Miller's increasingly erratic and dangerous behavior has made that impossible. And I do want to point out, so you knew this entire time, and when someone asked you whether or not this man belonged on the ballot, you said, I don't know. You said, I don't know if he belongs on the ballot. It's been gut-wrenching and horrific for you, but you don't have any kind of spine to stand up for your own daughter? Like, what a failure. What an utter failure of a father. As he has admitted privately, Max Miller needs serious psychological help. He's a danger to my daughter, and I hold my breath every minute he has custody of my granddaughter. If there are any basic standards of character required to hold elected office, Max Miller fails them. He should not serve in the House of Representatives. I believe Max Miller needs to seek professional help to end the clear pattern of abuse he has left in his wake. I believe he should not be free to continue endangering others until he does. I ran for office because I wanted to make a difference for the country that gave me every opportunity to succeed and to leave this nation better for my children and grandchildren. That sacrifice has been especially hard on my wife, Bridget, whose big heart and steady support have never wavered. I owe it to her, to Emily, and to my granddaughter to speak the truth now. And it's just like, you waited literally until after Max Miller released his statement. You waited months. And at every opportunity available to you, when you had the stage and the opportunity to speak out against Max Miller, to do the right thing and say this man has no business being anywhere near a position of power in Congress, you instead said, I don't know. I cannot think of anyone more faithless, anyone more feckless, anyone more completely without honor. It's disgusting. And frankly, the people of Ohio deserve better. But what are you going to do with the people who make up the political party that has shielded Jeffrey Epstein at every turn, even after his death? Like, of course they have no honor. Of course they have no dignity. Of course they have no actual principles. It is only at the final hour does this man put out any kind of statement defending the honor and integrity of his own daughter and his granddaughter. So, anyway, that's what's going on with Max Miller, representative of Ohio. It's so horrifying. And by the way, he's not even like the only member of the House who's currently being told, hey, maybe you should resign. This dropped just 7 hours ago. The House Democratic Women's Caucus called on Chuck Edwards to resign because he's apparently been abusing his position to sexually harass his employees. Super cool stuff from the Republican Party. You know, again, the party of protecting women and girls working overtime to literally not do any of that. Yeah. Speaking of, what do they have against this guy? They have a 25-page report that they released earlier today, about how he failed to adhere to the spirit of rules prohibiting sexual harassment and unwanted advances to House staffers. Anyway, that's the Republican Party. And they still haven't released all of the Epstein docs. That's so weird, isn't it? Especially when they passed an entire law mandating that they be released and all redactions explained. But, you know. So, all that being said, folks, if you got anything out of this, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this despicable behavior. And reminder, don't Fed post in the comments. And if you want to organize and kick these bastards out and get someone better in, get organized on the local level. Best place to start is on the city level. Let's go. So if you need help getting organized with your local Dems or your local DSA, you can join our Discord. Reach out to Dragonfly for help organizing your local Dems. Reach out to Gamergy for help organizing your local DSA. And if you want to get involved in door knocking or phone banking across the country for progressives who are running for office, go down into the links down below and click on the one for Progressive Victory. They're organizing a bunch of really great initiatives across the country. And last but not least, folks, check out ImogeneOlivia.com. Gender euphoric lingerie designed from the ground up for trans femmes, tested with cis men, cis women, non-binary folks, trans men. It is comfortable, sexy, non-tucking lingerie. And we just got 2 new sizes, got a full restock, a new color. Go check it out, ImogeneOlivia.com. Link down in the description. Let's keep on going.
Riverboat Jack is coming to town. All the viewers gather round. Twitch and YouTube and swishy streams. All that content is bursting the seams. Politics, dating, plenty more. Your sense of fashion you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord. Riverboat Jack.